Hi everyone, this is Yeri of Astrology Healing Arts, and this is a short episode of Arcane Threads, interweaving philosophy, astrology, and ancient wisdom. In a previous video, I went over many details regarding the health influences of Saturn and Neptune's ingresses and their conjunction to take place in the year 2026. Now, I'd like to go over some of the esoteric factors of their coming together. There are two main branches of study that I focus on in my work. One is health-related, and the other one is about what lies beyond the veil. And this includes, but is not limited to, paranormal and conspiracy research. I question everything about our existence and about the very architecture of the universe. Who is pulling the strings? Not only in government, but spiritually. How much free will or control do we actually have? Is there an all-loving God behind all of life on Earth, or an adversarial presence who has hijacked our divinity and trapped us here? Anything is possible, and what I've observed in over 25 years of astrological study is that humans are programmed for pattern recognition. Everywhere we go, in everything we do, we look for patterns in order to make sense of our experiences. From babbling brooks and cawing crows to the formation of clouds and circular movements of heavenly lights, we are constantly guided by nature's signals. Saturn is the planet that relates to the underlying structure of all things and is sometimes equated with Satan, regarded as the lord of this realm that we currently inhabit. Behind the structure, there is illusion, where Neptune makes its presence known. In Buddhism, a series of reincarnations of life on Earth is seen to be both illusory and torturous, because souls who continue to reincarnate accumulate psychic baggage and bias, while it is our innate wisdom, innate view, if we pay attention to it, that gives us the capacity to see through this illusion, to lift each other out of it, and to become liberated. In sidereal astrology, Neptune is still in the sign of Pisces until 2037, and Saturn will be in this sign until 2027. The conjunction between them will occur in Pisces rather than in Aries. In tropical astrology, which is based on the seasons and position of the sun, it's really about the sun's relationship to the earth. It calculates transits based on solar cycles, whereas sidereal astrology aligns specifically with the fixed stars and constellations. The philosophical approach is very different in each. Western tropical astrology tends to focus on psychology and archetypes, while sidereal astrology, usually combined with Vedic philosophy, focuses on karma and the timing of specific events. The two systems often clash, but there's a reason why I find it useful to examine both. And that's not to say that I think everyone should follow both simultaneously, as this is a personal choice. If we consider Saturn and Neptune as joining together at 0 degrees of Aries in February of 2026, it accounts for the appearance of a worldwide reset in government and currency that is taking place, because Aries, as the first sign, begins a new cycle. But if we look at Saturn together with Neptune, still in Pisces, the final sign, and one that deals with the collective unconscious, we also see the phenomena of illusion and delusion at their peak. Artificial intelligence is on the rise, and it's become increasingly difficult for people to discern what's real from what's fake and to break away from their addictions to modern technology. The last time Saturn joined with Neptune was in 1989 to 1990. a time period that was marked by the crackdown in Tiananmen Square in Beijing, China, resulting in extreme violence, and the fall of the Berlin Wall in Germany, symbolizing the end of the Cold War. In tropical Western astrology, the conjunction between Saturn and Neptune took place in Capricorn, which is appropriate given the focus on communist regimes and their collapse. Capricorn is a sign that deals with government and dictatorship. The last time Saturn and Neptune met in tropical Aries was March of 1703, a conjunction that began to grow in 1702. This period was marked by much war and chaos, which is a darker theme connected with the Aries archetype. If we view this conjunction from the perspective of sidereal astrology, the conjunction would have been in Pisces. During those years, many maps turned up that look very different than the world maps of today. Maritime maps were critical to travel, as they often included sea routes and weather patterns. There's a map of the Old World by William Godson from 1702 and others that are very similar. A map of St. Petersburg emerged in 1703 because the city had just been founded and symbolized a shift in Russian history. I'm skipping timelines here, but in 1917, a Saturn-Neptune conjunction occurred in the tropical sign of Leo, which relates to monarchy. This period was marked by the October Revolution, leading to the fall of monarchy and the rise of the Bolsheviks. This revolution brought brutal massacres and genocides that many historians have either glossed over or embellished. Soon after this, the Spanish flu hit from 1918 to 1920. This was known as a highly deadly pandemic, said to have caused the death of 25 to 50 million people. Military technology was also being upgraded during this period, and communications increased through radio sets. The question remains as to what the linkage was between exposure to these technologies and radiation and decreased immunity. Similar to the question and research being done today regarding the effects of 5G technology on the health of humans and animals. Throughout history, in many forms and manifestations, the joining together of Saturn and Neptune have stirred up chaos and confusion. They have both trapped and released various toxins, pathogens, and poisons. In the sign of Pisces, this is especially pertinent because within this sign there are no boundaries, and deception is exceedingly difficult to pin down. People speak of a great awakening taking place, but are people today as a whole as awake and aware as they claim to be? Within the years between 2026 and 2028, it is possible that hidden poisons are going to resurface and malicious intentions will be exposed. The Epstein files will continue to unravel as awareness of perversion and pedophilia in high places becomes common knowledge, causing a new civil war and uprising. Just as the world experienced fear and panic regarding a pandemic outbreak during the Great Conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter in 2020, we might be looking at similar situations and schemes during this transit involving Saturn and Neptune. This may sound very dismal and ominous, but everything in astrology is cyclical. Nothing is new under the sun. These are just various possible outcomes involving these celestial alignments based on past events and pattern recognition. Manipulation is always taking place in this world, and spiritually, the entities and malevolent forces that we encounter either cause us to cave in to our lower nature or to turn within for true clarity and salvation.